guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I look like I don't got no clothes on, but I do. I do have clothes on. Hi, you guys. How are you doing? I know it's a little late, but I wanted to hurry up and get this in before because I got some things to handle before the night ends. But definitely come on in if you guys are watching for the first time. We are meeting for the first time. Make sure y'all drop y'all names down in the comments so that we can address you properly throughout the live stream. I am Oshun Yinka, your favorite womb goddess, and I help women balance their hormones naturally. So if you are looking for a channel that talks about spirituality, the divine feminine, and healing your womb space holistically, then make sure you click that share button, that like button, and the subscription button so that you don't miss out on videos like this. We go live every single night so that we can have these one-on-one conversations. So welcome in, you guys. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? I'm gonna wait for a couple people to slide on in before we get started because I do have a quick little live tonight. We're gonna be talking about how to manifest relationships, but it's not as in depth as y'all think. I mean, it's in depth, but you know, it's not as drawn out as y'all would think it would be. It's kind of self-explanatory. But this is the reason why I came on here to talk about this was because today is a very powerful 1/11/23. Today is a really powerful day, and I meant to do this earlier, but I was in a Rebirth Society. But today is a really good day to set those intentions. Along with some other days, I'm going to post a video that I did about heightened days to manifest in January. I think I want to give that to you guys every month, but for sure in January, I should have done it at the beginning of the month. But tomorrow I'm going to drop a video on on what specific days are good for different types of manifestation, whether it be material success, relationship success, spiritual success, or what's the other one? It's one more, but I'm teaching you guys how to not only what days to manifest on, but how to take advantage of the energy that's going on. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it, you guys. Oh, self-care. Self-care is the other day, is the other type of abundance that I was talking about. But let's go ahead and get into it, you guys, because I do got some ritualistic things to do tonight to make sure that I am taking full advantage of this energy. I always tell, they need to cut me a check. Pattern needs to cut me a check, but I always recommend the Pattern app to you guys. If you're in a Rebirth Society or if you follow me on any other platform, I always recommend the Pattern app for an easy breakdown of how your natal chart is being affected by the cosmos and the energetic shifts that are happening, as above so below. I always recommend the Pattern app, and the reason why I'm mentioning the Pattern app right now is because today ends one of my cycles of expansion, one of my cycles of career and home expansion. Today ends that day, so I want to make sure that it's been like a 10-month, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was like a 10 or 11 month cycle that I was going through, and it's still different cycles that's happening right now. This is definitely my abundance year. Last year was definitely like my transitional year and things like that. And I've told you guys multiple times that this year is going to be a very pivotal year for us. So I know for a fact that's what's in my charts, but your vibe attracts your tribe. So for a lot of times the shifts and things that I'm dealing with is the same thing for most of my audience. So I try to take you guys into consideration when I see certain things like that, or at least bring it to your attention just to see if you guys resonate with it as well. And most of the time you guys are in that same type of energy. So today ends one of my big transitions with home expansion and my career expansion and things like that. So I do want to make sure that I'm taking full advantage of this energy, especially today because it ends, but also today as the 11th. This is a great day to manifest relationships. So I want you guys to watch this, even though Most of you guys will probably be watching this on the replay. It's still a good time. For one, it's a good way to know when to do it, because again, I'm going to drop a video tomorrow on the other days it's good to manifest relationships. This isn't the only day. So you'll still know how to do it, but most importantly, being able to knowing how to do it is what's most important. Not necessarily when to do it. That's a plus, but knowing how to do it, because I always say you can manifest anytime throughout the year. It's just would behoove you to work with the energies of the cosmos and not against it. A lot of people like, oh, I don't believe in astrology. Astrology isn't a belief system. Astrology is a language. It is a universal language. So just say that you don't understand astrology. Don't say that you don't believe in it, because it's not something to believe. That's just like saying you don't believe in gravity. Like it's not a belief system. It's literally a universal language. So you want to be able to speak this language and work with this language instead of working against it. Obviously, would you be able to communicate and navigate life without it? Sure, for sure. We do it all the time. But it will behoove you to utilize the energy, get to know the language. Again, why I recommend the pattern app. Get to know the language, at least how it pertains to you. You don't have to know about all the zodiac signs. I tell people all the time, I'm not an astrologer, but I do study my natal chart. And for people who are close to me or people that are coming into my life, I always, check our synastry charts to see how compatible we are and how do we work together, because it just saves a lot of time. Like this language is not here for no reason. The universe put it here for us to understand, and so that we can have better connections. It's just easier to work with the cosmos instead of trying to work against it. So with that being said, I do have my notes here, so if y'all see me looking down, I'm looking down at my notes. But I'm going to give you guys 4 simple ways to manifest relationships on the days that are good days to manifest relationships. So while we're talking about that, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys January's, and this is just January 2023, the days that are heightened for you to manifest relationships. The 9th was a good day. Today, as the 11th, is a good day. The 14th, the 15th, the 18th, and the 26th. So these are all January 2023. If you are watching this at a later time, a later year or whatever, then disregard the dates, but pay attention to how to do it. But the 9th, 11th, 14th, 15th, 18th, and 26th are great days to utilize the information that I'm giving you right now. So how to manifest relationships, you guys. It's really, really simple to manifest relationships. But in that same thing, in that it's simple to do it on your side. What becomes tricky when it comes to manifesting relationships is the fact that you are working with other humans. That's what makes it tricky. We tend to put out energy and things like that. It's easy for us to do it on our end, but what we tend to attract is where things get tricky, and that's when we have to use our discernment and use pay attention to different signs and omens that's telling us whether this is not or whatever. There's been a plenty of times where people have manifested me in their journey or somehow or another they've manifested me into their life, and they were not ready for me. I always tell people, like, I have goddess energy. I am a goddess. So when I come into your life, the reason why I don't, like, a lot of guys ask me, why I don't believe in marriage, why I don't want to be legally married and things like that. It is because I know my chart. I know that it's not likely for me to be traditionally married. I know that it would be more stressful for me to try to be traditionally married than to accept that I'm just somebody who I have to enjoy the experience. I am a goddess. So when a lot of people come to me, and I used to think that this was a curse. So if this is somebody else that, if you have these same experiences, I'm here to let you know that it's not a curse. It's a blessing in disguise. And as soon as you accept that what is, the easier you'll be able to navigate through relationships. So I used to be super, I used to be super like clingy when it comes to relationships, like, and I still get like that depending on who is with. But it's like when I'm locked in, I'm locked in. Like, ain't no breaking up. Like, we locked in when I'm with somebody. Like, I immediately start to invest into them and things like that. Where I had to learn that, where I started to feel like it was a curse, was because I would invest into people so much and I would give them so much, and then I would realize like they're not ready. A lot of times I have been put in the friend zone because guys are just like, bro, like, I don't want to do this to you. Like, I'll have people, I've had a lot of guys who tell me like, you know, I'm not even ready. I'm not even going front. Like, I'm not ready to deal with somebody like you, and I don't want to play with you like that. Like, at least they were being honest, so I wasn't mad. But you know, there's a lot of times where guys would push me away because I'm challenging them to be greater. And the reason why I say this to you guys is because there are times where you are going to manifest people that you are not ready for, and vice versa. People manifest you into their life and you're not and they're not ready for you. It happens all the time. It happens all the time, and this happens when people are calling out for things that they have not yet prepared for. So I tell you guys all the time, especially while we are transitioning, and we've been doing like the last couple of videos we did, I was talking about ascending. So if you are somebody who is ascending and you know you are changing paradigms and quantum leaping and things like that, there's going to be a shift, a major shift in the way that you see people, the way that you interact with people, and you need to be prepared for this to be for this change to happen. And the only way to prepare for this is to not have expectations. When you are calling out for these people to come into your life, like you want some good girlfriends, you want, you know, a power circle, you want a divine relationship, a romantic relationship, you know, you want better connections with your family, you have to go into these scenarios with intention but no expectations. And that is very important. Like, that's like rule number one of manifesting anything, like not having expectations but having hella intentions. That's the first key to all of this. When I go into a situation, I do not expect it to last a long time. I do not expect it to be perfect and roses and flowers. I don't expect this person to just get along with me all the time. I don't expect anything. The same way I don't expect the bad, I don't expect the good. What I do, what does happen is I set intentions. If I set intentions and call out for this to happen, if I want this type of person in my life, I want this type of person to teach me certain things, I want this type of person to interact with me in this way, what some would consider their boundaries, or what some would consider their their standards, or whatever's on your non-negotiable list and things like that. Like, call out and set intentions for those things. Everything else, once you achieve those goals, and you somebody comes into your life that fits that criteria, now it's to just enjoy the experience. You've already done your part by manifesting them into your life. The problem what we have is a lot of people will manifest the people that they want into their life, and then they'll completely throw away the manifestation because they're not looking at the other things that they might not have had on their list. So for example, say you're manifesting a guy who's, tall, dark, and handsome, career driven, family oriented, respectful, all these things, right? You're manifesting somebody who does that, or who fits that criteria. You manifest them. They come into your life and they're there in your life. And then you start to say, oh, well, he's really not that clean of a person. Oh, well, he's not really in shape. He doesn't really work out as much as I want him to. He doesn't really eat good. Oh, he's a smoker. Like, if you didn't have all of these things already on your list, these are things that you will now have to experience to know that you don't like them. Say they have children and you never really had a problem with somebody or dating somebody who had children, but this isn't a really your ideal experience with them having children. So you might say, I don't really think I want guys with children. Enjoying that experience, those are some of the things that you get to negotiate. Like, is it really that bad, or is it just something that you weren't expecting? Or is it really, really good? Or you just have rose colored glasses. This is a time for you to just analyze things and let them be. Once you get to a point where it's like, okay, well, the bad is really outweighing the good, and I'm really good on that, like, because again, self-preservation is first. Like, is this depleting my energy, or is this giving me life? If the situation is giving you life, then you want to take into consideration, okay, well, maybe I can overlook this, maybe this isn't that bad, let me learn how to accept this. And then even if the good outweighs the bad, sometimes you have to look at it as, maybe this person's situation is not ideal for me, but that doesn't mean I'm just gonna say I don't date guys with kids. Maybe I don't like the fact that you don't have a healthy relationship with your child's mother, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I would never date another guy who has children. Does that make sense? So going into the situation with intention, sure, being solid on your intention, having non-negotiables is very important. So being solid with your intentions, but being flexible with your expectations. That's number one. Number two, you want to be nurturing to the relationships that you already have that are actually healthy. So when you go and look at your friend circle that you currently have, maybe you want to have friends who are in higher places, and you're not necessarily ready to give up the friends that you have right now, or you don't really feel like you need to give them up because there are good people. Y'all are just on different paths right now. I'm a strong believer that you don't have to cut people off when you level up. People will cut themselves off when they feel like you no longer are on the same page. But I have friends from very long time ago. Like, most of my friendships, if I consider you a friend, we've been friends for over 10 years. So if you have friends that you've outgrown as far as like the day-to-day stuff, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not friends anymore. It just means that your friendship has differed. So when it comes to your friendships that you still have, that they're good people, you still can count on them. If you absolutely needed something, you can still call them. If you absolutely needed something, like to vent or whatever, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to cut them off. But you need to also nurture those relationships, even though they're not where you're trying to go, and you're trying to manifest new friends as well that are where you currently are. That does not mean that you get to neglect the friendships that you do have with good people who care about you, who are genuine, and who still wants what's best for you. You need to nurture those relationships. If you have guy friends or exes or whatever, and I say this with care because I know that the average person is not cool with their exes, but I am somebody who am. So if you are somebody who you have healthy relationships with your ex romantic partners, nurturing those relationships as well. I always feel like it's healthy to not always have so much access to act like y'all still sleeping around. Like, I'm not talking about that scenario. I'm talking about you had come to an understanding that, hey, we're not meant to be in a relationship, let's be friends. If you are friends, nurturing those relationships, asking your the opposite sex friends that you have, like asking them advice on certain scenarios, making sure that you're asking them instead of your homegirls who don't know nothing about guys anyway. Asking your male friends, like, hey, is this me? Am I tripping, or is it the guy? That's one thing that I've learned how to do in the last couple of years, and that's just because my exes have now come to a point where they understand, like, you either gonna get gone, or you're gonna be my friend, like genuinely be my friend. So I've come to the last couple of years being able to have conversations, like real conversations with my platonic guy friends and with my exes. Like, am I tripping? And the reason why I say both, the reason why because I do have platonic guy friends and then I have my exes. But the reason why I ask my exes as well is because you've dated me. Like how I act in a relationship where my platonic friends have not. So they know me as a friend for sure, but they haven't dated me. So the scenario kind of changes. So I can ask both of them, like, do you think I'm tripping? Or from a guy's perspective, like, how does this go? And then also my ex, they didn't have the cat, so they know, like, yeah, he probably thinking this, or like, he probably thinking that, because they've been on that side of the spectrum. So I nurture all of those relationships, and I think it is very important to nurture those relationships. I think it's healthy to be friends with your exes, or to at least be cordial with them, that you can have healthy conversations like this. Like, even if it's not or frequent thing, you should be able to have a conversation with somebody that you used to date and ask them like, what things could I have done better? Not because I want to be with you, but I just want to improve and self-improve. And guys are a little fragile, so sometimes, they be like, I ain't trying to hear that, I ain't trying to hook you up with, the next guy, whatever. But they'll come around, especially if you guys have genuine friendships with people. Like, you should be able to ask them, what are some things that I did wrong, or you wish I would have changed when we were together. Like, ask those questions and nurture those relationships so that you can change yourself and grow and learn from them, so you're not taking that same baggage. Even if, so say if you're not even there on your relationships with your ex right now, or with your exes, say you're not there. Maybe there needs to be a conversation of forgiveness. Maybe there needs to be a conversation of, I know that we're not together and we're probably never ever be together again, but I just want to know, like, what did you see in me? Why did you stay with me? Why did you choose me? Those are good, healthy conversations to have, because when you attract, especially if you are somebody who attracts a lot of the same type of guys, like if you don't have no healthy relationships with any of your exes, you the problem, sis. Like, you're just the problem, because that's not normal for you to just be like sleeping with somebody, you're dating them, y'all hanging out a lot of time together, and y'all just break up and y'all not cool at all. That's not normal. Like, that doesn't even sound right. Like, how is that possible? Like, you were saying that you love this person, y'all have been intimate together, like they've seen you vulnerable in a lot of different ways. How is it that y'all are not cool at all? Like, that's really absurd. And the fact that most women or people in general are like that is a scary place out here for single people. But I challenge you to be able to have these conversations with your exes, even if you don't want to be friends or anything like that. I challenge you to ask them things about, like, what went wrong? What do you think went wrong with us? Like, or why did you stay with me? Like, what qualities were good qualities that brought you to me, and where did we go wrong? When did I start doing this and that? And this is not for you to try to justify anything. It's not for you to try to prove your point, well, that wasn't me or whatever. Let them tell you their perspective of you, because you can't change their perspective of you. This is what they saw. They saw somebody who's always nagging. They saw somebody who wasn't trustworthy. They saw somebody who wasn't a safe place for them. Whatever they saw is their perspective, and they are entitled to have that vision, that version of you, even though in your mind you were like, oh, well, where you weren't doing your part, so that's why you got that version of me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, especially if they're an ex. They're already done with. So just get their version of you. And even if you see those same qualities, or you start to experience some of those same things in your next relationship, where you see you're nagging more, or you see that you're not being a safe place because you gossip a lot to your other friends, like, you take those qualities and you change them about yourself so that you can attract better. This is how you attract healthier relationships. So the third thing, number one was being intentional. Number two, nurture your healthy relationships. And number three, I would say giving out compliments. Giving out compliments is super slept on, but very powerful. It's just like an act of gratitude. Honestly, we always say the attitude of gratitude always is the simplest way to manifest things. Is always being in a state of gratitude. But giving compliments is just neck and neck with that when it comes to manifesting relationships. Giving compliments to other women, giving compliments to guys. If you want a guy who kisses the ground that you walk on, I always say 10 a day. If you are learning how to manifest relationships, you should give out 10 compliments a day. Give out 10 compliments. If you're trying to manifest a romantic relationship, or if you're trying to manifest girlfriends, you go on the internet. And I feel like it's easier for us as women to compliment other women. So yes, you should still compliment other women, like intentionally, like go and compliment other women. But I think it's, especially if you're trying to manifest romantic relationships, it is very important for you to know how to compliment a man. I feel like that's where a lot of women fail to have healthy relationships, is because you do not, let alone, I need to do a whole training on how to shoot your shot. Like, I'm gonna wait for that to be February series, but learning how to shoot your shot is it's a whole genre of women who feel like giving people the Gabrielle Union stare down on what is it, what is it, not Gotta Kick It Up, what's that movie, y'all know, the cheerleader movie, when she walking by in her little Clover outfit talking about something, with looking like she need to lay her edges down. Y'all think that's shooting y'all shot? Like, oh, he's supposed to know what I'm thinking about. He's supposed to know that that's the look, the six, what we call it, the 15-second rule. Like, looking at a guy for like 6 to 15 seconds, just staring at him. That should be the signal that I want you. Yes, that is a method. But I feel like more women should be comfortable shooting their shot, or nonetheless complimenting a guy. You should be able to compliment a guy without even wanting anything from them, but just getting in the habit of complimenting a guy. Because for one, if you don't know how to compliment a stranger, a guy who looks good, smells good, like, I'm the type, if a guy walking by me smelling good, I'm like, damn, you smell delicious. Like, what is that? And if I don't want him, cause guys, they don't get that often. So that's why I was like, it's not often for you to shoot your shot at me. I've never shot my shot and missed. That's a fact. I've never shot my shot at no guy and ever missed, because they don't get it enough. And when women start to do that, they automatically think like, oh, I'm in there, because 80% of guys are not getting no action. 80% of guys do not know how to court women. So when a woman is presenting herself to them, and I'm gonna teach y'all how to do that, because a lot of y'all be like, oh, well, that's masculine, you shouldn't have to do this, that. It's a method to it that is very much so feminine, because I'm not out here buying no guy no drinks, or trying to, it's very much so player. So don't ever get it twisted. But I want you guys to get in the habit, because if you do not know how to compliment a stranger, I can guarantee you that you are not complimenting your man once y'all actually get in a relationship. You might be the type that, he get a fresh haircut and you just like, oh, where you think you going? And y'all, I'm saying this because it used to be me. Like, oh, so you just out here looking like a thigh. Like, where you think you going? Oh, you got on, you looking very dapper today. And it's like, oh, where we going? Like, let me put my shoes on, because I'm going with you. You ain't going outside looking like that. Not without me. Like, that's how and I think this is just our culture. Just as our culture as Black people, like, we give compliments by like, girl, who you getting cute for? Like, that's how we give compliments. That is a compliment. But I want us to get in the habit of learning how to actually give compliments. Like, damn, you look amazing today. You smell very good. Like, your skin is glowing. Like, learning how to give real, genuine compliments that are not like, it's a compliment. I know you, like, when you like, girl, who you trying to look cute for? I know you're complimenting me and saying me I look good, but let's get in the habit of learning how to actually say, damn, girl, you look good. Where you going? Like, let's get in the habit of learning how to really give compliments, true compliments, especially to your counterparts if you're trying to attract the guy. And then lastly, but not least, of course, is going different places to find the people that you are looking for. If you are looking for girlfriends, if you are looking for, a power circle, different entrepreneur friends and things like that, you need to be on Eventbrite and searching women empowerment brunches, entrepreneur lunches, entrepreneur events, and things like that. If that's where you want to be, if that's where you want to see yourself, then you need to be in places where these people are. If you are looking for a certain guy who's maybe got a lot of money or whatever, like he might be a retired guy, go to a golf course. If you're whatever type of person that you are looking for, go places where they are more likely to be. And we talked about that in a previous video. Like, it's not possible for you to be wanting to have all these outside connections when you're always in the house. It makes no sense. And if you're looking for a guy, oh well, it must be the my man got my man must be the UPS driver or the Amazon driver. Child, you do not want nobody who making that type of money. You looking for a high value man, and then talking about the Amazon driver gonna be your high value man, or that must be the guy sending for you. No, you need to get your ass up and go out the house. You need to get your ass up and go places that you've never been before, so you can have experiences that you've never experienced before, and meet people that you've never met before. That's the goal. That's the goal, to get in new atmosphere. And these other atmospheres as well, not only every time you might go, you might not meet somebody, but the more you get in the habit of showing up in these places, especially if you're going in local places, you're going to start to see the same people. You're going to start to see some different people, but a lot of the same people, and if nothing else, the same energy of people. So you'll be more attractive. You start to raise that vibration of being this type of person. You know, you remember when I said how to become what you're trying to become is to just be. Like, how do you be a high value woman? How do you be an entrepreneur? How do you be somebody who is, you know, have a CEO and things like that? It's by putting yourself around those type of people and embodying that collective energy. So I hope that this information was helpful for you guys. Let me know by dropping some purple hearts down in the comments and giving me some thumbs up. It really truly does help with the algorithm. Let me know if y'all have any questions about this, if y'all gonna try them. Like I said, I'm gonna try to drop the video tomorrow on what days are best to manifest in January, and I'm gonna try to get into a little schedule with that at the beginning of each month to let y'all know what are good days to manifest certain things. But today is a very good day to manifest relationships, and at the beginning of the video I gave you the other dates. So make sure that you guys give it a thumbs up if you got any value from this video, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.